Good morning, students. In previous class, what we were discussed? In previous class, we discussed about various fundamental features for all organisms. Common fundamental features for all organisms. Those are levels of organization. Is that right? Next, pattern of complexity of digestive system, circulatory system, and reproductive system. Then after that, what is that? Next one, body symmetry. Then coelom. Then germ layers. Then segmentation and notochord. These are some of the fundamental characteristic features, even though they are body form and structure different, but these are the fundamental features which are common to all organisms. Clear? That we were discussed. Is there any doubt that and all? In during today's session, you just ask us. Okay. Today we are going to start that phylums. If you try to remember that phylums, okay, what are the phylums which are going to present? Porifera. So just let me write here it is. Okay. Phylums we are going to one by one we are going to study. So first, this phylum list I am going to give. Phylums. Here it is. Porifera. Sorry, something happened. Phylums. Okay, Porifera. Next, Coelenterata. Coelenterata also known as Cnidaria. What we are going to call it as Cnidaria. Why it is called Cnidaria, that and all we are going to discuss little ahead of topic. Ctenophora. Platyhelminthes. Asphelminthes. Also known as Nematoda or Nematohelminthes. Three names are similar. Okay. Nematohelminthes. Okay. Next, Annelida. Next, Arthropoda. Mollusca. Echinodermata. Hemichordata. These are the invertebrates or non-chordate phylums. Okay, so these are the non-chordate phylums. Porifera, Coelenterata, also known as Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Nematohelminthes, Asphelminthes are also known as Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata. After this one, we are going to be entering into the chordata. Clear? Now we are going to discuss about first Porifera. Porifera. We are going to start Porifera. Clear? We are going to start Porifera. What is it? Yes. Porifera. 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 Okay. First, how many species which are going to be present in this number of 5,000? Approximately 5,000 species which are going to be present. Okay. 5,000 species are sponges. Species are sponges. Porifera. Pores. Their body wall having pores. Body wall having sponges of body wall having pores. So that's what these organisms are called, pore bearers, pore bearers. So these organisms we are going to call it as pore bearers. Means pores are having, body wall having pores, body wall having pores. How these body wall having pores? Let me small diagram. Here it is one of the example. Here it is one of the example, cycon. Cycon. So this cycon having body wall having pores, body wall having pores. So entire body wall having pores. So this is cycon example. Porifera, 5,000 species which are going to be present. These are all are sponges. So body wall having pores. So entire body wall which are having pores, and these are called pore bearers. Pore bearers. Clear? So this is the little introduction regarding porifera. Next, what before entering into that, certain common things which are going to present for each and every phyla, those we have to be make it. First, habitat. Habitat means, what is that? Habitat means where these particular organisms which are going to be present. Habitat. Where these organisms which are going to be present, that we are going to call it as habitat. Habitat means where these organisms which are present. All sponges are aquatic. All sponges are aquatic. All sponges are aquatic. Either it is marine water or fresh water. Most are marine water, less are fresh water. Most of the sponges are marine water. So less which are going to be fresh water. Suppose for fresh water, example, spongilla, fresh water sponge. Clear? So habitat disease. And these organisms, most of the organisms, not most, maximum, all organisms which are sessile in nature. What is mean by sessile in nature? These organisms attached to substratum. Any rock or something, if it is there thing, these organisms which are going to be attached to that particular rock, so thereby which are attached to the substratum, these are sessile in nature. They are not going to be moving, which attached to the rocks, and thereby they are going to be surviving. If they are going to be attached into the rocks, then how they are going to be getting the food material, how they are going to be get all the things which are going to be taken? Means simply these are having a specific water canal system which is going to be present. Water canal system, water transport system which is going to be present. Water transport system present. With this water transport system, these organisms are going to be get the food material. About this water transport system, little ahead of this topic we are going to discuss, you don't worry. Okay, so with this water transport system, these organisms, even though they are sessile, they are going to be get the food material. Through this water transport system. This is about simply habitat. Next, another, body symmetry. Before that, level of organization. level of organization. Cellular level of organization. Cellular level of organization. What is mean by cellular level of organization? Cells which are going to be responsible for division of labor, which is going to present. Cells which are aggregated cells, which division of labor, thereby they are going to be distribute some works. So suppose if I want to say these are the some cells. So these cells which are going to perform one function, and these some other group of cells which are going to be do it some other function. Like that, cells aggregates which will form, they are having division of labor. So like that, cellular organization which is takes place in this level of organization of porifera. Okay, next, body symmetry. Body symmetry. Body symmetry. Most of the sponges are asymmetric. Most of the sponges are asymmetric. What is mean by asymmetric? When any plane passing through the central axis of the body does not get into equal half, that is asymmetric. Clear? Some organisms which are showing radial symmetry. In previous class I told you, just try to remember, while I discussed with about body symmetry, that time I told you. So in that asymmetry, what are the things? Asymmetry, radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry. In that, most of the sponges are asymmetric. Some of the sponges are radial symmetry. So this is about symmetry. Next. Body form. These porifera organisms body form having ostia plural. What is this? It is a opening or entry of water. Especially if I am going to make the structure of that particular this one, you can able to understand very easily. Let me make that particular structure. Okay. So this is the, particularly if you take a sponges structure, okay, and here it is little, I need to okay. Next, so this is the outer layer. Okay, so this is the outer layer. Next, this outer layer we are going to call it as outer pinacoder. This is going to be like this. Pinacocytes which are going to present Okay, this outer pinacoderm which consists of pinacocytes. Outer pinacoderm which consists of pinacocytes. Pinacocytes. Okay, outer, this is the outer layer. If you take that particular structure of that particular body form of the sponges, outer layer which is going to present, that is outer layer. Outer layer, that is, this is the outer layer, pinacoderm. This pinacoderm which consists of pinacocytes. These pinacocytes are which gives the protection. Which gives the protection. This pinacoderm which gives the protection. And next, another layer which is going to present, that is the inner layer. That is the inner layer. So this inner layer which consists of, this inner layer which is going to be consist of, this inner layer is called coenoderm. What we are going to call it as coenoderm. This inner layer which we are going to call it as coenoderm, and particularly this coenoderm which is here also, again this also division is there. Next, here also which is going to be having space. Okay, so this also. Yes, so this inner layer, what we are going to call it as, this is coenoderm. This one we are going to call it as inner layer, coenoderm, which consists of coenocytes. Which consists of coenocytes. Okay. Next, these having like this. So these coenocytes which are responsible for that absorption of the food material. What are the function of this one? Absorption of the food material. These coenocytes. Okay. Next. Here it is. You should remember that. One more thing, very important thing that you just have to go through. Here it is. Here also I will make it. Okay, so wherever this entry, if you are going to be go through this, this is going to be entry. This is going to be entry. This is going to be entry. So here it is, wherever if you go through, this is the entry. Water which is going to be enter in this way. This water which is going to be enter. Wherever the water which is going to be enter, this particular entry which we are going to call it as ostium. Ostium. Water which is going to be enter through this entry region. Water which is going to be enter through this entry region. This water in this, I will make another color. Okay, so this water which is going to be enter in this way. So here also water which is going to be enter, and here also water which is going to be enter, and here also water which is going to be enter, and here also water which is going to be enter. These all what we are going to call it as ostium, plural ostia, plural ostia. Clear? Next, here it is. This entire space what we are going to call it as spongiocele, spongiocele, also known as paragastric cavity, spongiocele, also known as paragastric cavity. Spongiocele. Okay. Next, this is going to be exit, outside, exit. What we are going to call it as this is exit outside. Osculum, osculum, exit. This is the exit, osculum. Okay. Now, this body form which consists of whatever the body walls. This is the outer phenacodon. It is the protective layer. And next, inner choanoderm which is going to present, which is responsible for the absorption of the food material. Next, phenacodon which consists of phenacocytes, choanoderm which consists of choanocytes, choanoderm which consists of choanocytes, which are responsible for the absorption of the food material. Now, how food material which is going to be enter? These organisms which are present in water, which are attached to the substratum rocks. Now, whatever the water which is going to be enter through this ostia, water which is going to be enter through this ostia, through this ostia, through this ostia, water which is going to be entered through this ostia, water which is going to be entered through this ostia and enter into the spongiocele, enter into the spongiocele. That food material which is going to be get by these choanocytes or collocytes, which is responsible for that absorption of the food material takes place. Then after that, again that particular water which is going to be after absorption of the food material and getting the oxygen and waste material which is going to be entered through the exit of, enter through the exit of osculum, enter through the exit of osculum, enter through the exit of osculum. Like this, water which is going to be enter, ingression of water, enter into the spongiocele, digest whatever the food material which is going to be captured by the choanocytes and waste materials which are released into the water, those waste materials which are going to be exit through the osculum, exit through the osculum. And if you are going to be observed in between the phenacodon and choanoderm, other so many amoebocytes which are going to be present. This layer which we are going to call it as mesohyl. What we are going to call it as this layer which we are going to call it as mesohyl. Mesohyl. A layer between phenacodon and choanoderm, that layer is called mesohyl, mesohyl, which is having various amoebocytes, which are having this mesohyl having various amoebocytes, various amoebocytes. We are going to see what are the various amoebocytes which are going to be present. Okay. Mesohyl having mesohyl middle layer, mesohyl middle layer, contain various amoebocytes which consist of various amoebocytes. What are the various amoebocytes which are going to be present? Trophocytes, trophocytes, next schizocytes, schizocytes, gland cells, next sclerospongioblast, scleroblast, next another one myocytes, next phagocytes, coloncytes, chromocytes, next very important at last we are going to discuss archaeocytes which are going to present. These responsible for that providing food to the all the cells. These are the cells which are present in mesohyl or middle layer. What is the middle layer? Outer phenacodar, inner conodar. In middle, whatever the layer in previously. So in this, whatever the middle layer, this middle layer which consists of various cells which are going to present, those which are belongs to outer phenacodar as well as the inner conodar. Those cells are these cells which are going to be responsible for that so many functions. So these are responsible for that so many functions. These trophocytes which are responsible for that providing the food material. Next, thisocytes are food granules, storage granules, storage granules. Okay, these are providing the food, these are storing the food. Next, gland cells which produce the mucus, slimy substance which are going to be produced. Slimy substance. Okay, slimy substance which are going to be produced. Next, spongioblasts which are responsible for the secretion of spongin fibers. Okay, giving the formation of fibers which use protection. Next, scleroblasts these scleroblasts which are responsible for that formation of spicules. Okay, spicules are which are being giving protection. So here it is various spicules which are entirely, here it is various spicules which are going to present, various spicules. Okay, so various spicules which are going to present. So these going to give the protection, spicules giving the protection. Okay, protection. Next, myocytes. These myocytes which are going to be, here it is, wherever the, here it is particularly osculum which is going to be covered by the, here it is myocytes, osculum which is going to be covering the myocytes, osculum. These, wherever the ostium also having porocytes. Okay, and this osculum which is going to be covering by these myocytes, osculum protection. Next, phagocytes which are damaged cells which are going to be engulfing. Damaged cells are engulfing, eating. Damaged cells are engulfing or eating. Colonocytes which are responsible for the formation of collagen fibers which forms the endoskeleton. Okay, next, chromocytes which are color pigments. Okay, all these are going to have different functions. Another important amoebocytes, archaeocytes, other important archaeocytes, amoebocytes. So these archaeocytes which are undifferentiated totipotent cells, undifferentiated totipotent cells means, what is mean by totipotent? Totipotent is the nature which can give rise to any sort of cells, regarding all the types of cells which are going to be give rise. These archaeocytes are amoebocyte cells which are present in this mesohyl layer and which responsible for that any sort of cells which are going to be produced from the archaeocytes. So that is the reason why sponges are having highly regeneration capacity. Sponges are having highly regeneration capacity. Very, very important for exam point of view. So many times they ask. Okay, sponges are having highly regeneration capacity and these are having archaeocytes. These archaeocytes which are undifferentiated totipotent cells which can give rise to any sort of the cells in sponges. Though that is the reason why this one we are going to call it as totipotent. Totipotent means the cell which can give rise to any sort of the cell. That we are going to call it as totipotent. So these are the different cells which are present in mesohyl or middle layer. These are the different types of cells which are present in mesohyl. Please go through it, very important. Okay, next one. This, whatever the canal system, so this is going to be, we are going to call it as canal system, water canal system. This entirely what we are going to call it as, this entire structure what we are going to call it as canal system. Okay, water transport system, water transport system or canal system, water transport system or canal system. What we are going to call it as canal system, water transport system or canal system. Clear? This water transport system or canal system which is responsible for that functions. What are the functions? What are the functions? Functions of the water transport system. Functions of the functions of canal system. Functions of the canal system which responsible for that transport of food material, transport of food material. Next, respiratory exchange, respiratory exchange. Next, excretion of waste, excretion of waste. Next, transportation of the sperm, transportation of the sperm. So this, whatever the water canal system, this water canal system, is that right? Here it is, this is the water canal system, simply I just made it. Okay, this water canal system, this water canal system particularly through this water, this is the transport of food material, water which is going to be entered through, water which is going to be entered through ostia, water which is going to be entered through the ostia and through this ostia and through this ostia and through this ostia, and water which is going to be entered into the, this is, what is this one? What is this one? Spongocoel or paragastric cavity. Inside what are the cells which are going to present? Here it is. These coinocytes which are going to present, these coinocytes which are responsible for the absorption of the food material, and these are going to be respiratory exchange. Once food material enter, along with that water, food material is there, water also contain dissolved oxygen. That dissolved oxygen which is going to be taken, food material is going to be taken by the coinocytes. At the same time, respiration exchange, whatever the oxygen also, dissolved oxygen also, they are going to be get inside. Okay, next, whatever the waste materials also which are going to be produced in this spongocoel by this clearly. Okay, so that whatever the waste materials also which are going to be excretion along with water which is going to be entered through the what is this osculum, through this osculum, water which is going to be exit along with that waste material. While entry of the water along with that food material, along with that oxygen, sperms also which are going to be enter, sperms also which are going to be enter, sperms also which are going to be enter, transportation of the sperms which is going to be enter. These are the sponges are hermaphrodites, means bisexual. These are having male reproductive system as well as the female reproductive system. First type of organisms we are going to call it as bisexuals or hermaphrodites, or also known as monoecious. Remember, these are the terminology is very important to understand the things. These are the hermaphrodites which can produce the both male gametes as well as the female gametes. These sperms which are from another sponge, whatever the through water, see, sponges which are releasing the sperms to the water. Now water which along with that sperms which enter into the another sponge. So inside the another sponge, these sperms also can able to produce the sperms and ova. Okay, sperms are released into the water. Whatever the ova which is going to be present inside this sponge, that is going to be taken up, and thereby these sperms as well as that particular ova, fertilization takes place. Clear? So like that fertilization takes place. So during reproduction, that we are going to discuss about that. Okay, so this is the functions of the canal system. Functions of the canal system. Next one, different types of canals which we are going to see. Different canals based on their complexity, 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 based on their complexity. Different types of canals. Ascan type canals. Okay, first one. Next, Saikan type canals. Next one, Leucan type canals. Ascan, Saikan, Leucan. So if I want to say example Ascan, here it is. Example Leucosolenia, Leucosolenia. Next, Saikan. You can able to take Saikan, same example. Next, here it is Leucan. Spongilla. So these are the examples you can able to see. You just go through this. Suppose if I want to say a small example regarding Ascan. So here it is in this simplest form of canal system. Simplest form of canal system. You can able to see simplest form of canal system. So in this simplest form of canal system, you can able to see first ingression of water. Ingression of water. Next, entered into the ostia. Next, entered into the spondocoel. Next, entered into the exit through the osculum. Whatever the diagram, previous diagram, ingression of water through the ostia and enter into the spondocoel, then osculum exit. So this is the very simplest form that we are going to call it as a Ascan type. Next, little more complex form, Saikan. Next, more complex form, Leucan. So these are, suppose this is the structure like this, very small, simple structure you can able to see in this simple structure. Okay. So very simple structure you can able to see in this. Suppose if you are going to take this Saikan, so in this structure you can able to see more little complex structure you can able to see. Okay, in this more complex structure you can able to see. So like this structure you can able to see. Suppose if you take this is the Leucan, more complex structure. So like that, more complex structure you can able to see. This is the Leucan, like that simply. So not exactly like this, little more it is there. So this, to understanding purpose, I made it this type of diagrams. Okay, Ascan example Leucosolenia, Saikan example Saikan type of canal system, Leucan type of canal system example Spongilla. So these examples are very important. Now we studied about that water canal system or transport system. Next we will enter into the another how exactly digestion which is going to be takes place in these organisms. Digestion in these organisms. Digestion is going to be intracellular digestion. Okay, intracellular digestion. So whatever the choanocytes, if you try to remember outer phenacodon, inner choanodon, in that inner choanodon choanocytes which are going to present, choanocytes which are responsible for the absorption of the food material. So thereby food enter into the cells, thereby that is going to be considered as intracellular digestion. Next one, skeleton. So in this skeleton which is going to be calcareous or spicules which are going to be present. Calcareous skeleton or spicules which containing skeleton which you are going to siliceous also. which is made up of silica, siliceous skeleton you can able to see. Okay. Next, how these organisms which are going to be reproduction takes place. Reproduction. So these are going to be organisms are hermaphrodites. These particular terminology you must go through it. Okay. Hermaphrodites are nothing but bisexual. Means both males and females are there in a single individual. Both male system, female reproductive system, which present in single individual, single sponge which consists of male reproductive system as well as the female reproductive system. Male reproductive system which is going to be male gametes. What are the male gametes? Sperms. Okay. Female reproductive system, what are the female gametes? Are ova. Okay. These are going to be releases. Clear? And this reproduction in these organisms, particularly sexual reproduction possibility is there, and asexual reproduction also they are going to be doing. Sexual reproduction, here it is. Cross fertilization. What is mean by cross fertilization? Here it is. One sponge which releases the sperms into the water, along with water, sperms which enter into the another sponge. So thereby in another sponge ova, they are going to be fertilization takes place. Such type of fertilization is called cross fertilization, and fertilization takes place internal side. So that's what it is going to be, internal fertilization. Okay. Next, asexual reproductive methods. Here it is fragmentation. Next, budding. Okay. So these fragmentation as well as the budding, these are the takes place. Okay. Next, gemmule formation also, one more thing. Gemmule formation. What is mean by gemmule formation? Asexual reproduction of method. Here it is, little just gemmule. If you take a structure of that particular so this is the, here it is, so many archaeocytes which are going to be present, inside, so many archaeocytes. Okay. So this is the outer layer, this is the inner layer. Okay, this is the archaeocytes. These archaeocytes, I told you, what is the function of archaeocytes? During adverse environmental conditions, these archaeocytes which will form the structure, protective layer structure, this we are going to call it as gemmule. During drought or adverse environmental conditions, these archaeocytes which are inside and makes the surrounding the one protection layer, outer layer, inner layer, and some spicules also which are going to present. Anyhow, this is going to be inside these archaeocytes. Whenever favorable environmental conditions, these inside the archaeocytes which gives rise to development into new sponge, like that formation takes place. Okay, so in previous already little before I told you that these archaeocytes are totipotent cells which can give rise to any sort of the cells, and that is the reason why these sponges are having highly regeneration capacity. That one I told you, please try to remember. Okay, next one, we are going to discuss sexual next development. If you comes to that development is going to be indirect development. What is mean by indirect development? There is no direct. Suppose human beings are going to give birth, exactly look like similars of humans, babies, is that right? So like that, any organism which is going to be gives rise to exactly that similar type of organism, that is going to be direct development. Here it is, these organisms which are not going to give the direct, maybe some part of larval forms which are going to be present in between. So larva which gives rise to adult. So that type of development is called indirect development. So that's what these are having larval forms. These are the first. This is the larval form, Trichimella, and next Coeloblastula. Coeloblastula. Trichimella and Coeloblastula, these are the larval forms. Larval forms. These are the Trichimella and Coeloblastula. These are the larval forms. You just go through it. Okay. Development is going to be indirect development. In this Trichimella and Coeloblastula is the larval forms. And if you take example for this Porifera, entire Porifera example, you can able to take it Euspongia saicon, Euspongia, Spongilla, Grantia, next another Leucosolunia, next Euplectella, next Chalina, Demospongia. So these all are examples comes under Porifera. So these Saicon, Euspongia, Spongilla, Grantia, Leucosolunia, Euplectella, Chalina, all these examples comes under Porifera. All these examples which are comes under Porifera. Okay, please go through it. So with this Porifera completed, in next class we are going to discuss about little classification of this particular 3 classes which are going to present, that we are going to discuss in next class. Okay, thank you.